So, for Chapter 2, I'm playing some Pearl Jam. Chapter 2, a new melody. Sunlight streamed through the gaps in my blinds, painting stripes across my face. I woke with a start, disorientated for a moment before the memories of the previous day came flooding back. Heather, Ellie, Silent Hill, the text. It was a lot to process, but as I reached for my phone, a smile spread across my face. There amidst the usual notifications and spam was a message from Ellie. Good morning, Josh. Hope you slept well. Looking forward to seeing you later. Don't forget to eat something before you come in. Those texts require brain power. A warmth flooded into my chest. It was a simple message, yet it carried playful intimacy that made my heart flutter. Ellie, just thinking her name brought a sense of calm anticipation I haven't felt in a while. I rolled out of bed, the weight of the past few weeks feeling a little lighter, a hot shower, and a quick reminder later. With a nice breakfast, I was standing in front of the mirror, trying to tame my unruly hair. Not bad, I muttered to my reflection, a flicker of confidence returning to my eyes. It was 8:30 a.m., plenty of time to make it to Ellie's by 10. I slipped on my sneakers, grabbed my keys, and headed out the door, the morning air crisp and invigorating. As I walked, I plugged my headphones, letting the music wash over me. The Nationals' Afraid of Everyone filled my ears, the melodic melody resonating with the lingering sadness I felt for Heather. I'm afraid of everyone, Matt Burning her sang, his voice a low rumble. Not to hurt anybody I like. The lyrics struck a chord within me. After everything I'd been through, it was hard not to feel a sense of paranoia, a fear of the unknown lurking around every corner. I'm afraid of everyone, the song continued. I don't have the drugs to sort it out. But as I looked around as the bustling city streets, the everyday normality of people going about their lives, a sense of defiance rose within me. I wouldn't let fear control me. I wouldn't let the darkness of Silent Hill or the pain of the past define my future. With a renewed sense of purpose, I quickened my pace. Ellie's address imprinted in my mind, the test, the questions, the uncertainty of what lay ahead, and all paled in comparison to the hope that she represented. A hope for healing, for connection, for a future filled with light. Ellie's apartment was a cozy haven, a reflection of her warm personality, bookshelves lining the walls, overflowing with well-worn novels and psychology tests. Sunlight streamed through the windows, illuminating the vibrant tapestry hanging above her couch. It was a small space, but it exuded the sense of comfort and serenity. Make yourself at home, she said, gesturing towards the couch. Can I get you anything? Tea? Coffee? Water? Water would be great, thanks, I replied, taking a seat. Ellie disappeared into the kitchen, returning a moment later with a glass of water and a small tray of cookies. All right, let's get started, she said, a hint of professionalism, seriousness in her voice. She pulled out a clipboard and a series of questionnaires, her demeanor shifting from friendly companion to attentive clinician. The tests were a mix of cognitive assessments, memory exercises, and personality inventories. Some were straightforward, asked me to recall sequences of numbers or identity patterns. Others delved deeper, probing my thoughts, feelings, and perceptions. As I progressed through the test, Ellie's brow furrowed slightly. Josh, she said, began hesitantly. Some of your responses, they are a bit concerning. I felt a knot tighten in my stomach. Concerning? How? She pointed to a particular section of the questionnaires. You have indicated that you frequently experience vivid hallucinations, particularly in moments of stress or anxiety. That's true, I admitted, but they're not random. They're connected to Silent Hill. Ellie's eyes widened. Silent Hill? You mean that place you keep talking about? I nodded, recounting my experiences in detail. The shifting reality, the monstrous creatures, the chilling encounters with the dead. As I spoke, I noticed a change in Ellie's expression. Her initial skepticism gave way to a growing sense of unease. Suddenly, a loud crash from the kitchen startled us both. We exchanged a worried glance and hurried towards the sound. As we entered the kitchen, a wave of icy air washed over us. The window was wide open, the curtains billowingly windly into the wind. But what caught our attention was the message scrawled across the previous clean window pane, written in what appeared to be dried blood. Heed the warning, Josh! Hello waits! Ellie gasped, her hands flying to her mouth. The color drained from her face as she stared at the message, her eyes wide with fear. Silent Hill, she whispered, her voice dropped. It's real. A chill down my spine. The recognition, the realization hit me like a ton of bricks. Silent Hill wasn't just a figment of my imagination, a product of a troubled mind. It was a real place. A malevolent force that was reaching beyond its borders, threatening to consume not only me, but anyone in my life. We have to stop it, I said, my voice firm with resolve. We have to find a way to close the portal to contain the darkness. Ellie nodded, her fear replaced by her starry determination. You are right. We can't let it spread. We must protect ourselves, protect everyone. In that moment, our shared fear transformed into a shared purpose. We were no longer just two individuals battering our own demons. We were allies, united against a common enemy. And as we stood together in the face of this terrifying new reality, a spark of hope ignited within us. We would fight, we would survive, and we would find a way to stop Silent Hill. The air hung heavy with the weight of our new family reality. We stood in the kitchen, the chilling message still etched onto the window. The once comforting space now felt alien, a portal to a darker dimension. We need a plan, Ellie said, her voice barely a whisper, a way to confront this thing. I nodded, my mind racing. We need to go back to Silent Hill. That's where it all started. Ellie's eyes widened. What do you mean back to Silent Hill? You might have been there before, but for me it's my first time. But how? I hesitated. The method I'd used before, the terrifying leap of faith from a 15-story building, was clearly not an option for her. We need to find another way, I said, racking my brain for a solution. Oh, maybe a ritual? A spell? A specific trigger? We could try meditation, Ellie suggested, her voice tentative. Focus the minds, open the spiritual senses. Maybe we could induce a state of consciousness that allows us to access Silent Hill. It was a long shot, but it was worth a try. We spent the next few days immersing ourselves in meditation and visualization techniques. We meditated together, guiding each other through breathing exercises and visualization prompts. Imagine this, stepping through a portal, a gateway to the otherworldly realm of Silent Hill, every day. One of these evenings, as we sat cross-legged on the floor, a sense of calm washed over us. We closed our eyes and began to focus, our minds drifting into a state of tranquil awareness. Suddenly, a surge of energy pulsed through me. A familiar sensation that had heralded my previous trips to Silent Hill. I opened my eyes, my heart pounding. Ellie was staring at me, her eyes wide with fear and wonder. What is it? She asked, her voice barely a whisper. I think it's working, I said, my voice barely audible. I can feel it. I took a deep breath and closed my eyes once more. With a final push of will, I visualized the familiar fog, shrouded streets, the towering Pyramid Hill, the menacing, otherworldly. And then, with a jolt, I was there.